Cruiser Mail, we're back.
Peace, man. Wasn't that groovy last week?
Everybody loved it. We got great reviews, had a lot of hits on it. So I know everybody's excited about seeing part 2, which I think may top part 1. I don't know.
You think it might?
You were there. You tell me.
Yeah, I think it could. Yeah.
I mean, how many people get to see Todd Rundgren do a recording session?
Well, not very many.
Until tonight. Now they're going to get to. And more jam sessions. I know everybody loved the coffee scene or whatever that shop was, that cafe last week. A lot of talk about that. So if you missed last week's show, I feel sorry for you, but you can still watch it because it's archived forever. Just go to our YouTube channel, Rundgren Radio, and you can find it. And you should definitely watch it and get caught up if you missed it, which I don't think anybody did, Chris. I think everybody's seen it.
Yeah, and while you're there, if you're going to be sitting around on our channel, so to speak, may as well investigate all of our previous shows that we've done all the way back until Labor Day. That's
what I'm talking about. All right. So tonight, if you don't know, this is the second episode for My Record Fantasy Camp, which was a camp 10 years ago. We're celebrating the anniversary of it, which started last weekend, where musicians got to go to this camp to try out for an album that Todd was doing with Todd and special guests. So,
and it was real deal. It was a real album. You can probably still find it out there. And I was there. I witnessed it. These fans got to audition for Todd Rundgren, and some of them got to be on the album. Well, actually,
all of them did.
Yeah, at one point. We'll
find out about that tonight. reProduction is the name of the album. Todd Rundgren.
Got her.
So basically, he reproduced songs that he had produced. So he did it his own version, and that's what that album's about. So why don't we get into some of it, Cruiser Mail, because I know everybody would rather watch that than listen to us.
Well, why don't we bring some people in then?
Let's do it. We got some guests that were at the camp. Last week we had great guests. We're bringing in new ones. So let's bring them in and we'll introduce them to you. We've got Bruce again, of course. Bruce, we appreciate you helping make this happen because people have loved it and we love it. And this has been in the vault for too long. So we also have Joe Carlson from California. What's up?
Doing good. Doing good.
Yeah.
Good to see everybody.
Hadn't seen you since Todd Stuck West.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Oh, no, it's sad, isn't it?
Well, I've seen you a lot more than you've seen me.
Yeah, that's true. On TV or whatever you call this thing, virtual vision. All right. We got Tim Longfellow from Ohio.
Hello, everybody.
A fellow member of Secret Society with Bruce, our third Secret Society member on the show. We may have a fourth. We'll see. And we have David. David, where are you from?
From Portland, Oregon.
Oregon.
Yeah.
Oregon. Portlandia.
It took me a long time to learn to say Oregon and not Oregon.
So you said Oregon? Yeah, Oregon. Yeah. You said Oregon. O-R. All right, very good. Well,
so we are nationwide right here on this stream.
Yeah.
And we might go international later. Who knows?
International feel.
Right. That would be cool.
Well, let's just dive right on in. Bruce, you've kind of been our executive producer during this show and last show. So I'm going to go to you first. Tell us a little bit about what we're getting ready to see, our first video for the night.
Well, welcome back, kiddies, to part 2 of our My Record Fantasy Todd Rundgren show. Yes, if you remember last time, we had gone through the auditions and we'd gone through the painful process of deciding who was going to win a slot on the album versus who was not. And we'll talk a little bit more about that coming up soon. But the first clip we're going to do for part 2 is actually going to be in the studio. And just to prep this a little bit, as you probably have seen on movies or, maybe personally firsthand, you've had some experience in the studio. There'll be the control room and the mixer board in one room, and then there'll be either a large studio and possibly some isolation booths where people will go to record their parts. And so you're going to see a little bit of both as you get into the next clips. But I did want to mention to be looking for something that's a carryover from part 1, and that is we had one of our camper musicians was very enthusiastic tambourine player. And so Todd's going to make a remark about tambourine in this next clip.
Okay.
Well, who's
And
the
what-
star of this next clip?
Actually, the star of this clip is going to be Tim Longfellow, one of our special guests this evening on the show.
What are the odds? Here we go. Y'all ready?
Well, we might be able to give you one more. I don't want to push it, but I just the highest harmonic left.
Yeah.
That little ting on the top.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Very good. Cool.
Thank you.
All right, let's change your mind.
Made all the difference.
Okay, very important announcement tonight. During tonight's jam session, there will be no tambourine. Make sure that you all knew that.
It'll be cowbell tonight.
No, it's like, as I mentioned to you, we've been struggling to try and get everybody that we possibly can on this record. We've decided we got to find a way to get everybody on this record. So tomorrow we're going to have a session, and it'll probably be Walk Like a Man, and we're all going to sing and clap together on that and make it a real gang war. Okay? So you're all going to get your names on this record one way or another. All right?
Oh my goodness,
Is
Tim,
that fun?
Yes.
what is it like seeing yourself sitting there next to your musical hero?
Yeah.
Tell us all about it.
Well, you know, this began with some postings on MySpace back when MySpace was a thing.
Oh,
And you know, I kept seeing this thing, spend a few days in the recording studio with Todd Rundgren, and I'm like, okay, what's this about? Well, as the ads progressed, it became more apparent that you had the opportunity to audition and be part of the thing. So to take part and audition for the record. And I kind of was like, yeah, you know, I'd really love to do it, but you know, it was prohibitive, cost-wise and all of that. But you know, several things aligned themselves to kind of make that possible. As the ads continued over a couple months, the price started going down a little bit. So that was helpful. But, you know, that whole trip to Sacramento to record at the Track Shack Studios is just an amazing just bundle of anticipation, of nerves, of, 1 minute I'm really confident, and the next minute it's like, oh, all right, I just need to relax, that kind of thing. So come the day of the recording, it was, I found the cameras to be kind of distracting. And I'll tell you one particular story in a second, but everywhere we were, there were cameras. If we were doing something, particularly with Todd or one of the artists, there were cameras. And I just do my work. I work as a professional musician, so I'm used to being in the studio. Now, the Track Shack was a very, very nice place, top of the line. And it was really a kick having all the artists, all the other artists that were there. So what's it like working for Todd Rundgren? There's a place in my mind on that day where I'm working for a client. Okay. So, he decided that he really liked my style of organ playing. And he wanted to make that work within Take It All, because in his opinion, he wanted some other kind of flowy things. These are his words, flowy figures to, kind of just bring some more emotion into the record. So, for 15, 20 minutes, I'm working for a client, and then there's that piece in your head that just goes, oh my God, it's Todd Rundgren. So it was a lot of fun. And I was actually looking at some of the raw footage, and I was reminded of several things. First of all, the camera is always being in your presence. The cameraman had actually started talking to me while I was waiting for playback for the first run through. And there was nothing there. He's asking me questions about the Hammond organ. Started talking about Ray Manzarek, of all things, And meanwhile, Todd's like, why isn't he paying attention? And I didn't realize any of this, of course, until I saw the rest of the footage. It was really funny. It was like, he can't possibly be ignoring me. He can't be doing that.
But Tim, the thing of the video that I noticed more than anything was that Todd listened to you in this thing, and he used the word perfect.
Yes.
You can't get any better than that, brother.
It can't. And I didn't mean to get long-winded. It really was a fabulous experience. We took photos at the board afterwards, and there's one I use a lot, and I never use the first one because Todd joked with me. He says, that looks like a morning after shot. So, it's just he's an immensely funny guy, but he knows what he wants, and in the studio, that's a really important thing. He doesn't waste a lot of time. And I saw that firsthand. I'm goading him at the end of that clip, going, all right, let me have one more. Well, we might be able to give you one more. He'd already decided that he had what he needed to make the track. So
just like we've heard with productions, he kind of like to get one done and take it done,
Absolutely.
Sometimes the artists get upset, but he's like, first cut.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think do you think he's pretty good at communicating what he's looking for?
Yes.
Yeah.
You didn't see a lot of that in the clips, but he made it really clear the style that he wanted me to do, which was right along my natural organ playing style anyway,
Right. Well, cool. Let's go.
It was fun.
Yeah,
we're going to do some more clips. Yeah, we're going to do some more clips in the studio here in a second. But before we go to the other clips, I know that David and Joan were going to be on some of the studio material later in the program, but they didn't get selected to be a vocal person, and they didn't get selected to play drums. And the drum off, Sammy got that responsibility. So what I'd like to do is hear a little bit about what it was like for David and Joan while we were recording what else was going on outside.
Hey, well, when Sam's session started for me, I was keeping and publishing a blog of those 3 days. So I was busy typing away furiously for a little while. And then I heard other music going on aside from what was happening in the studio with Sam. So I kind of followed it. And in the green room, there was a very informal jam going on in the green room. And it was, at first I was like, well, I don't know if I want to do this, excuse me. But I went in and actually had a really good time. It was a great stress reliever. It was a lot of fun. We just people called out songs and, maybe they weren't sure of the key or how it went, but it was great. It was really, really a lot of fun. A lot of people passing by would stick their necks in and all. And it was great. It was actually, there is somewhere out there a 2-hour long recording of this jam session.
Wow.
I had a copy somewhere, but I haven't listened to it in a long time. But it's out there if you really want to hear it. So it was great fun. It was great fun and a really nice way to bond with other Todd fans and play music with them and have that in common.
Did any of the other of Todd's band stop in while you were over there when you were?
I remember Jesse popping in, and I'm pretty sure Brent Bourgeois stopped in as well. I don't remember them staying a whole long time, but they really liked what was going on, and it was spontaneous, and it was organic, and they all appreciated it.
Good people.
For sure.
Hi.
Hey, Joe.
Hey. Well, let's see. So the same question for me?
Yes.
What was it like trying to sing for Todd? Yeah, trying out.
Oh, trying to sing for Todd. Well, it was terrifying. And the music that they had us, they said, okay, here's the songs, practice these songs. Absolutely none of them were going to be in a key that was good for me. And I really just, picked one, and it was too low. It was too slow. It was really hard. And I had a backup plan. A lot of people don't know that Badfinger was my gateway drug to Todd Rundgren. And so I had this idea, well, maybe if I could just ask him and I didn't know what he was going to use for the album. I didn't know he was planning to do a version of Take It All. That's a song I've sung 1,000 times in the shower, in the car, all that stuff. So, I was trying to talk myself into doing a little medley of Badfinger songs and stuff, but it was all I could do to belt out the song. And he tried to help by doing the harmony part. That's the part that I would have done, so it was very awkward. But I wore earplugs, right? Because I knew I was overwhelmed listening to the first few people do their auditions. It's like that little room with a full band playing it could stop your heart. It was extremely difficult to think while all that was going on.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, so you're not on the album until you are on it for the one song, but
yeah.
I mean, when I listen to what you're saying you did, I know people that are watching are going, so what? I had Todd sing harmonies with me. That was worth it, right?
Totally. The whole thing was, in fact, the singing part on the album, I didn't even really care about. The fact that they were trying to goad some sort of competition out of us. It's like, I'm sorry, I am so nervous at doing any of this that it's a miracle that I got up there and with earplugs in my ears to keep it from shattering my brain to actually finish that little audition. And then the rest was just totally fun. I loved all the little impromptu, kickback bands that we were doing in the other rooms. It was awesome. And also sitting in the recording room was also very fun. I mean, I had no problem. I mean, I will say I sat on my hands a little bit because Laura Baton trying to sing Take It All, harmonies, a song that she had never heard before in her entire life. And I knew it, that the harmonies stood upside down and sideways. Todd could never have known that. So that was a little bit, but everything else, all of it was dreamy. They treated us nicely. We got front row seats to some amazing shows during the week. And the Todd fans, of course, are always, so much fun. And we have a lot to talk about. And we have a lot to hang out and do. And, getting to sit there and sing harmonies with, Jim, or we had, not Jim, I'm sorry. Yeah, Jamie. And
yes,
just all the fun sing-alongs that we got to do. It was totally a gas. It was a total thrill. And
so
Todd in the studio, that was fascinating.
Absolutely. So after they decide who's going to be on the album, I watch these, Top Chef, all these shows, everybody goes in a room and they say, hey, some of your friends are going to be on this album and everything. What was that like? Did y'all have a party? Was everybody popping champagne? How did that go down?
You mean like afterwards?
Yeah, when they said, okay, these are the people that are going to be on the album or whatever.
Oh no, I mean, everybody was totally in everybody's court. I mean, we were excited for anybody. When they let us clap in the one song, it's like, fine, that's awesome. I got to be there. I got to watch the decision-making process, the way things are layered. It was really that was the dreamy part for me. It was just fun to see everybody working. It was fun to see, people who had clearly, worked their whole lives to be trained in music to the point where they could just stand in there. I'll tell a little story on Bruce.
Uh-oh.
Let me mute Bruce so he doesn't interrupt you.
Go ahead.
The word elan. Like, it's nice to see if somebody can come in here with, just have it down to calm, cool, collected, and he didn't even use that many words. I think he just used elan. And that was many sentences earlier when Bruce came up and he stood up there and he just went, it looked like Entwistle standing there, just like, planted his feet and just did that audition. And Todd was like, that's what I meant by elan. It's like something like that. It was charming. And you're rooting for everybody, so it was really fun.
That's great. Yeah, you got people, if I showed up there and let's say I play guitar or bass and Bruce and Daniel are up there, I'd be like, okay, I'm still having a great time. I'm still having Todd sing harmonies in your situation in my background, still getting to hang with these people. It just, I can assure you that people that have been watching the show, we've seen in the comments, are very, I guess, for lack of a better term, jealous that they weren't at this camp. They really wanted to be there. They know that you guys had a great time. What an experience. And maybe he'll do it again sometime. Who knows? But anyway, so another situation we had was the drum off we got to see last time. And then Sam, who got to play with Todd later, as a matter of fact, we talked about that too last week at the City Winery for Unpredictable shows. What was that like, David?
At the City Winery, I was not there. That was Sam who played at City
that's
Winery.
what I'm talking about.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sam doing the recording. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I was, as I said, I wasn't there. I was busy blogging because I'd come really so close with the drum off, and it was still a thrill of a lifetime to be able to do that and to be one of the two finalists. The thing that was most nerve-wracking for me at that point was I was the very first auditioner of the whole day. And Todd said, well, we're going to record things in the order in which we do them in the studio, so drums will be first. I'm like, great. But I just went first to get it out of the way so I could enjoy the rest of the day. And so I was there for that. I was there for Sam's audition and all the drummers' auditions. And then when the decision was made, it was like, yeah, I was disappointed, but Sam kicked it. He killed it. So okay, good. But I wasn't there for the session itself.
Good. But you got to take out with Prairie Prince. I mean, I got to imagine that's somebody you looked up to as a drummer.
Absolutely. I was, when I had my audition, the first one, he was my drum tech. He was like adjusting the snare. He was like moving the seat down. He was doing all that stuff. I'm like, how many people can say that Prairie Prince was their drum tech?
There you go.
It doesn't happen very often. But he was great. He was incredibly supportive, as he was for all the drummers. But it was, everyone who was there, and for the drum off, which had a huge number of onlookers, and but it was great. Everyone, as Joan said, everyone was in everyone's corner.
We've all seen some of the drum off now. Yeah, last week we got to see a lot of it. Absolutely.
Yeah, so it was terrific. It was, it was, there are no words.
There are no words. All right. Well, I don't. Speaking of, I'm kind of. I've heard words. I'm going to hear some drumming. So why don't we go see what Sam did with this little walk like a man action? You ready? All right. That's good stuff.
Oops, sorry, I was muted. I'm not sure why. Anyway, that was great, Sam. I think I heard quite a lead guitar playing in the background of that.
Yeah,
so Tim, let's get your commentary about that guitar player, and then we're going to go see him play.
That guitar player just blew us away. It was an amazing first night at the Jam. It quickly went beyond the blues, that Todd had attended. And, there's Daniel just kind of getting everything going and suggesting some other tunes. And so by the time Daniel went to play his recording, I mean, they let him go. And he is really in full flight here. It's an amazing clip.
Well, why don't we watch it, huh?
Well, I'd like to, Cruiser Mel, but we have somebody wants to talk to us.
Okay.
Word, what's up?
Hey guys, you hear me okay?
The rock star, yeah, we can hear you all the way over there from Brazil.
All right.
What's going on, man?
Coming to us from Brazil, man. Hey.
Yeah, once again from Brazil, all the way from Brazil.
Long time no see.
Yeah. So you were talking about that night, that blues night, right, Tim? I would like to say that I wasn't aware of anything. I was there a full ball of energy. I was like overwhelmed completely, and I wasn't like I said, I wasn't aware that it was going to be a blues thing. I just wanted to play all those songs that I've been like listening to for all my life. And later on, I figured out that I maybe crossed some lines there. I don't know if Todd got like maybe pissed off at me, maybe
maybe
because I was ruining his blues thing. But you guys know me. I'm a happy-go-lucky guy. I wasn't trying to steal the show in any way. I wasn't thinking at all.
You were there to play.
planned.
Well, Daniel, you looked a lot different back then. Let's take a look. You ready?
Wait for it.
You look
Nice
very
job.
much
Oh, my.
at ease, though. No nerves there.
Well, first of all, I wasn't aware that he was like taping this, like he was actually recording. I thought it was just a run through the song,
Mm.
you know.
Mhm.
That's why I like did a solo over the whole song. I didn't play the chords. So
Right.
talk about being naive.
Well, you had to be kind of naive in a sense, coming all the way over to the United States. You knew nobody, I assume. Just
Mhm.
to try out for this, you really had no idea. Nobody really did had what's going to happen, but you had the guts just to say, "I'm going to come over there."
Yeah, actually, I was so overwhelmed with people in general because to me, American English is the language of entertainment. I at that time I never spoke. It was the first time that I spoke English with a real person in my
Wow.
life. And I didn't get any better now.
You're
10
great. You
years
sound
now,
great.
and I still don't
Oh,
have
yes, you
the
have.
skills.
Yes, you have.
I know
Uh,
you can
Doing
sing
great.
every Kiss song. Hey, so Daniel, you think about it. So you it was your first time speaking English. Now you've had, you've made some friends you've had for 10 years. You end up joining a Todd Rundgren Utopia tribute band, Secret Society. I mean, it's had to be a great experience for you even after the whole thing happened and you got to be on the album.
Well, for me, the most important thing of the whole event was meeting the fans, not the stars per se. Of course, I loved meeting Kasim and Larry Tagg, which was my second biggest idol there.
Wow.
It was Todd and Larry Tagg right here.
Wow.
And I think he's a very good musician and songwriter and singer. Well, but the thing that I value the most was meeting you guys, because at the end of the day, you are just like me, but you speak better English than me. But,
Not
No.
all of us.
and I remember, like getting along really well with Jamie. He's not
Mhm.
here today, but
Not to hear today. He's in part one.
Yeah. And he was the one that like invited me to form this band. I think he was already talking with Bruce about it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I didn't think twice.
Mhm.
I was in, and the rest is history. As you
So we had Susan show us the souvenir guitar on the last show. She said it wasn't really a guitar you want to play, but I'm still sure it's one you want to have. But I understand you couldn't take it home with you because of customs and things
Tell
like
us
that.
about it. Tell us about the guitar.
You're talking about the autographed.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
At that time, I just bought that guitar that you just saw, that Gibson Les Paul. And if you travel to another country, you're allowed to have one musical instrument with you. If you are a professional musician, you have to, how do you say that? I have like a special ID that proves that I'm a professional musician, so I can carry one instrument with me. So at that time, of course, I would like to have that guitar, but I gave it to Roger from TR Connection.
Roger Linder, yeah.
Roger Linder, yeah, okay, he lives over there.
But I always thought about it. Wouldn't that be cool to have that guitar like here in my studio, or actually in my bedroom? It's not here. I'm sorry, I don't have it here to show you.
Sorry.
But the thing is, some weeks ago, my good friend Bruce, he just gave me his guitar, his autographed guitar. What a beautiful gesture!
Thank you.
Very thankful. You
deserve it, my friend. You worked hard for that.
Thank you very much. And I told him that I was playing the guitar because you guys might think that guitar was not very good for playing, but I tweak it.
There you go.
And now it's perfectly playable. I actually recorded some stuff with that guitar, and it sounds perfect.
Excellent.
So thank you very much, Bruce.
You're so welcome.
All right, so the rest of you guys want to say something to Daniel before he goes back to doing whatever he does in Brazil?
That's great
Tim,
stuff, Daniel.
David?
Yeah. Daniel, this last 10 years doing, or the last, 4 or 5 years doing our occasional shows has been a real joy. And I value our friendship very much. Love you, brother.
Love you too. Just a quick thing that I would like to say. The moments that I spent with you guys in rehearsal and playing live were the most special thing in my life, because in Brazil I'm not able to play that kind of music. That there's not a public for that, an audience for that. So I'm very thankful and I'm grateful that you guys chose me, the guy that lives, the guy that
a long
it's
way.
so difficult to keep me in the band, and I really appreciate the effort you guys did to make this happen. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Big shout
we're
out.
gonna have to get you back up to the U.S. That's for
we
sure.
appreciate you coming over here. Absolutely.
Big shout out to Doug and Mel for organizing so many of the events that we had Secret Society play for, and we're able to get Daniel up here. Thank you.
Our pleasure, and everybody else's. It was there to get to see it. Really great stuff. All right,
Yeah.
man. Well, good deal. Well, Daniel, have a good one, man. We appreciate you coming on and talking to
Good
us
to
10
see you.
years after the fact on My Record Fantasy Camp.
Bye bye.
Good to see you.
See you. All right. I don't know what time it is over there, but I hope it's not too late.
It's not too
2 hours.
late.
2 hours past Eastern.
Yeah.
So, whatever you are.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, what a pleasure to have him join us,
Yes.
and certainly would like to see him in person again someday,
Yeah.
sooner rather
Hey,
than
Mel,
later.
just for the record, I didn't want to get into it with, but he would love to come back. It's a work thing and some different things. So if he doesn't, it's not because he doesn't want to. It's just situations over there. So
right,
that's why he doesn't come back.
Right. Well, we'll get him back somehow, or we'll just go visit him. How about that?
There you go. Let's do that.
Okay, so chronologically, we have come up to the end. Well, the end of the second afternoon at my Record Fantasy Camp. Yeah. So I believe we've got a little video action as we're headed out to dinner.
Yep.
Well, who could possibly be in this video? Anybody wants to see?
We've just wrapped up our second day in the studio. We're about to go to dinner and jam session number 2. For me, at least, it was a lot easier today. I didn't have to sing so much. The hardest part was trying to find the proper place to put all of our featured players and stuff. Unfortunately, we got to break the news to everybody that they're all going to get a chance to participate in this record, which was my fervent hope from the beginning, that we could involve as many people as possible. So we're doing really good so far. We've been making great progress. Our players have been definitely up to our expectations. They don't diminish the quality of the record at all. As a matter of fact, in many cases, it's a much better record than I could make myself. So things are going great. See you at dinner.
Pretty high compliments there.
Yes.
I got to say. I mean, it's just, that's a different side of Todd we don't see a lot. It's really nice. Okay. All right. Well, David, tell us a little bit about the Texas Wasabi Jam action.
Well, it was a little, I guess it was a little more organized the second night than the first night. I was only up there, I believe, for one song. I played, oh goodness.
Played.
My mind goes blank. I had it all day, and now, I think it was Love My Way. It was his version of Love My Way.
Okay.
And again, Prairie was, adjusting everything and making sure everything worked for me. And one of probably my favorite moments for the whole night was when Bourgeois Tagg did I Don't Mind at All, which I don't believe I had ever heard before.
Wow.
And I just fell in love with the song immediately. And as soon as I got back to Los Angeles, which is where I was living at the time, I went and got their records, and it was a great time. It was a lot of fun. I don't know what else I could say about it. Just again, having a united front, so to speak, with all of these fans. And I'll echo what Daniel said, is that getting to know these folks and you folks and, has been the highlight. And that we're still friends 10 years later is a huge thing for me. So it was a great time.
David, quick question. I know first night we jammed, it was kind of a free-for-all, and people were, elbowing each other, knocking each other, trying to get on the stage. Was night 2 a little better organized? Was there like a sign-up sheet or something?
No, there was no sign-up sheet. I believe her name was Caitlin, who was one of the assistants. Who was one
McGaw.
Yeah. I haven't told the story before, but I'll make it really quick. The first night, I said, hey, if I've got my druthers, I would love to play Personality Crisis with David Johansen. Okay, it didn't happen. It was a long shot. Fine. The second night, she comes and finds me and says, okay, you're the one who wanted to play Personality Crisis, right? I said, yeah. She said, okay, Mickey Thomas is going to do one more song, then you go up there and they're going to play it. I'm like, okay, great. So Mickey Thomas finishes. She says, okay, go kick Prairie off the drums. I said, excuse me? She said, go kick Prairie off the drums. I said, okay. So I went up there and he knew nothing about it. And so I went back to my table feeling kind of foolish. And then she came back to me maybe after one more song and said, okay, they're going to do it next. And I'm like, so I went up, sure enough, and Jeff comes over and goes, what's going on? And he said, we're not doing it. The set list has changed, whatever. So, I was like, if she came back to me again, I'd say, you kick Prairie off the drums, not me. So finally, Mike Martis, I think, came over and said, okay, we're going to do Love My Way. You can handle it. Go do it. So I did it. And it was great. And again, I was playing behind Todd, and it was all pre-programmed except for Todd's vocals and my playing. So it was sort of like, okay, I got to really come through here and do it. There was a click track, but I still had to come through, and it was great. It was a lot of fun.
Great story. Thanks for telling that. Thank you.
Good stuff. So this video we got coming up, folks, this is a lot of jam session. This is, I know, some of the stuff you want to see. So get ready.
I never felt better in my life. And yourselves? We're gonna have some barbecued sushi.
As I understand, a lot of barbecue and sushi is going down. It's going to be a whole man-beef food thing. And then we're going to make up for all of our previous night's sins by trying to be a little bit more organized tonight. Have a little bit more music and a little bit less like, what do we want to play? What do you want to play? I don't know. What do you want to play? All right. It's going to be really cool. Day two.
What is an alto? Like it did for you tonight. Are you busy, David?
Was that fun or what?
There were some different camper faces up on that stage, right, Bruce?
We had a bunch. I don't know if you noticed all of the folks there, but Deanne Scher, who was from California, and I guess is now in the UK, was singing backup vocals. I saw Chris Landis over there playing the keys. Joe Magna, I think, was the gentleman on guitar out front there on both of those songs. I did notice that Prairie finally did get the boot. Susan Leonard snuck in there. I saw the light. It's hard to see her because she's clear in the back.
Yeah.
But don't want to leave anybody out. But Kevin Stoker, I believe, was on that last song as well. And we're
and there was there was another guitar player on stage. It was kind of hard to see him, but I gotta speak up for my Dallas boy, James May.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Thank you for saying that. I knew I was forgetting somebody. James was a real contender. Boy, he's quite the guitar player too. Now, he's no Daniel Eastbeck, but
who is?
Nobody is.
But yeah, that was awesome.
I saw you do this, Bruce, just now. You said something about Susan Leonard. Why were you grabbing your glasses?
Now, you see, here we go. This is kind of a signature thing with me. Got the hat, I got the glasses. I'm not trying to copy Jesse. I'm actually going for Leon Russell. Okay. So Leon was a big idol for me as well in the day. But yeah, there's a quick story because Susan was on in part 1, and she mentioned to me after the show, she said, you know, those were your sunglasses. And I said, what? Oh, yeah, I remember. So what had happened was Prairie had gone up for the first set, and it turns out that for him to see Todd, he was staring right into a spotlight, couldn't see a thing. So he stood up right in the, sat up there for a second. We were all still kind of finishing up dinner, and he said, has anybody got any sunglasses I could borrow? And I thought, well, sure, here's my Maui Jims. What the hell? So I didn't know Prairie, but ran him up the stage, and I was honored that Prairie wore my sunglasses for the entire set. But when he finished and Susan booted him, he said, you're going to need these. Susan. And so she wore them the rest of the evening.
Little communal sunglasses.
Yeah, I thought about, having Prairie sign them and never wear them again. But, it was one of those things. I'd never met Prairie until this camp. And so I was still a little bit in awe of all of the musicians. I'd never had a chance to work with anybody of this caliber, this level of fame and fortune.
Awesome.
But I think we're going to do another clip here now. I would like to mention that we have cut a lot of footage, obviously, from these jam sessions. We only played a couple of the tunes from night 1. We're only playing a couple of tunes from night 2. If there's enough interest, so all you kids go in there to the chat room and talk it up if you want Uncle Doug and Mel to do another show one of these days with more footage from the jam sessions at My Record Fantasy. But
well, like you said, there were hundreds of hours, 4 cameras, pretty much 16 hours a day on everybody. It would take a lifetime probably to watch it all. So
we've got another short clip coming up here, and this is leaving Tex Wasabi. The first person you're going to see is Mickey Thomas. Now, Mickey was included in My Record Fantasy because I think he's relatively local to the whole thing at the time. He was living near Sacramento or in the San Francisco Bay Area, but also the producer, the promoter for the My Record Fantasy Todd show had done a show with Mickey Dolenz, and then he also had planned to do one for Mickey Thomas, although I've never seen any footage from a Mickey Thomas show. But that's one of the reasons Mickey was there. But you'll hear Mickey talk a little bit, and then listen closely because it may be hard to hear. They do a quick shot of Todd in the limo talking about that song that he just did with Grady, because he was so just amused with Grady's high harmony on that song. Well, you listen, see what you think.
Man, just another great jam night for the Record Fantasy. Todd Rundgren, David Johansen, Bourgeois Tagg, just killing it. They sounded great. And me, I got to do a couple of soul tunes. I got to do some Fool Around and Fell in Love, had the horn section going on. Some of the campers got up and played and sang, and they sounded really great. The talent level for this camp is just amazing. There's a lot of really good, really talented people here, and it's just been a lot of, it's a blast, and we get to do it all again tomorrow night, and hopefully again sometime in the near future.
Brady's been one of my biggest supporters since like day one. I love him like a brother, but I had no idea he could sing that high. That was amazing. That was an amazing moment. Because suddenly he became like a little angel.
Little angel. Yeah, Grady's got to be loving that. Grady loves him some Todd. There's no doubt about that.
That was awesome.
All right. Well, videos are fun, but
why not
have another special guest? Yeah.
Yes.
Let's see. We got not only that. For the second time this evening, we are going to talk to somebody from overseas. So
really?
That's right. So without any pause or wait, let's bring in Kevin Stoker. What's happening?
Hello,
yeah.
Kevin.
Hey, Kevin.
Hey.
Look at that jacket.
Hi, how are you all?
Nice jacket.
You're doing great.
Wow, he's aged a little bit.
Oh my goodness, Kevin! The first time I met you, you were wearing that exact jacket.
Yes.
Tell us about your camp experience and about the jacket. And I think there were some shoes involved as well.
Yes, there was. Remember?
You have them? Oh my God.
Oh, blinded by the light.
Those shoes. He's wearing those shoes.
My experience actually started with the first time we ever went to America was for Maeve was ill, and we went on the Golden Goose to Akron and Muskegon to see Todd do healing and that. And somebody was drawn, I think it was Roy Firestone, was drawn as a somebody who was going to go to this thing where
Roy
he was going to sponsor it, yeah. Swanson, yes, was going to be sponsored to go on this thing. So I asked, what the hell is this all about? And they said, oh, you can go on a Todd Rundgren record. Well, I'll look into this. So I went on the internet. I wasn't into the internet. I was still not really. And Mitch Kaluras phoned me and said, you're interested. Do you want to be on this? And I said, will my name be on a Todd Rundgren LP? And he said, yeah. And I said, I'm in. So I paid me money and off I went. First time abroad by myself. Well,
were you a singer? Were you a drummer, a guitar player?
Well, to be honest, as I say, I went as a singer, but when I got there, I was like a fraud. I thought it would just be gonks like me, like Todd fans or something. But there were like all these incredible musicians and people who could do so many things. It was like I walked around in like awe. I mean, I was scared of the contestants as much as I was. I mean, it was way scary, but they were like way above my head. Way above my head. They knew all the music. I was like a beginner. I just fell out of my depth, but it was brilliant. It was fantastic. Sorry.
You got to sing I Saw the Light with Todd. I mean, you got to jam with Todd Rundgren on stage.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Well, that was when you do when we did the audition, Todd sat exactly opposite you, and he's like harmonizing with you, and I'm trying to sing, but I'm listening to him. It's Todd Rundgren. Todd Rundgren singing right in front of me, like a couple of feet away, for God's sake. I lost the words. Luckily, I had them on a bit of paper. It was just one of them crazy. Well, yes, it was fantastic.
I can imagine. Yeah, that's
I'm just going to say this to you, right? I kept a journal all the way through, and this is like one of the bits. This is a weird part. I just went for a beer in the kitchen, and Prairie is having a sandwich, and Todd walks in. I'm within inches of the man. I'm drinking half bottles of free Newcastle Brown. Mel from Radio Rundgren is pissed off. She can't get on the internet to send her report for the show, which starts 1.5 hours.
So true.
I just thought I'd tell you that, Mel.
That's perfect.
So that was the problem
too.
What happens at camp apparently does not stay at camp.
That's right.
Not if I write it down, no. I tell
Kevin, maybe we can do a show and keep up with read your whole diary. You know, might be kind of fun.
Oh my God, there's some quite funny things in it. But David Johansen. Oh, yes. Can I just say another thing?
Sure.
Right. Sacramento B. Do you all remember that?
Yes.
Yes.
We were in the Sacramento B.
Oh, is that right?
Right.
Joe. The front page, yeah.
Yeah.
Joe, do you remember this quote? I tried to resist, but finally my inner child screeched, I want to do this. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Is that from the article?
On the back of the paper.
No, I remember.
You made the B, Johnny.
I still have that too. I still have it.
I bet you do. Got to frame that bad boy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Kevin, I know it's late over there, man. We got to let you go to bed. Especially since you've turned into a.
Oh, he froze up. Oh, bummer.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey,
That was awesome. Good to see you.
he
yeah,
was
that's
such a
good people, man.
character. Oh,
Well, he's got a collection of some stuff, no doubt. How about that?
yeah.
Unbelievable. Yeah. I remember that article. I remember that photo. I sure do. I wasn't even at camp, but I remember that being online. Still is some.
I've still got a copy in my little keepsake box as well, Johnny.
Oh, yeah.
Of the newspaper itself.
I
Yeah,
gave it
that
to
was cool.
So you were quoted actually there in the paper.
I guess
There
I
you go.
did. Yeah.
Yeah.
World famous. Hey, John, tell us about the walk talk session, the deal where everybody got to be involved.
Yeah, he took us, if I remember right, I think it's like he took us outside to practice. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah. That makes sense, actually.
outside, right?
Yeah,
And,
to get us warmed up.
You know, and he said that this is how we're going to get you all on. It's a kind of not really a singing thing per se, but we're going to be able to have you do a group sing for this part of Walk Like a Man. And he had us, practice through the cadence of the clapping and then showed us, like when we're all going to just scream forward and go, walk and talk and, stuff like that. So it was really fun. And it was a group activity that was super fun. And he was in a really jovial, great mood. And all of us were just having a blast. It was just another wonderful experience.
It was his way to give you a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then everyone yell out, walk, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Walk! Louder. 2, 3, 4. Walk! That's better. Yeah, really belt it out, Yeah.
No, you're like,
walk. 1, 2, 3. Walk! 2, 3. Talk. Talk! 2, 3. Walk! Walk! Talk, talk, talk! Let's try to get more tighter here, yeah. As I'm moving over.
Obviously, a little studio magic on the hand claps. Line them up a little bit better, but you know, we'll get telling it.
Yeah,
he seemed to be genuinely happy that you guys were all on the album.
he was. I mean, this had all been set up to be that, reality television show shtick, where everybody's supposed to have a lot of drama and angst and winners and losers, and people will cry if they didn't make it. And, you've got Todd fans here who are just, I don't know, the best fans in the world. And
they picked the wrong crowd for that kind of show.
Totally. Yeah. So yeah, he was really, stressing over the fact that he wanted everybody to be on the album somehow, but he just had to come up with a way because there wasn't enough time in 3 days to record everybody. So this was a way to do that. So everybody has a credit on the album for being on backup vocals for Walk Like a Man.
Sure. That looked like a lot of fun.
It was. Let me comment. That part actually was a lot more difficult than you would think, because we were just saying walk, talk, and some clapping and yelling and whatever. But we couldn't hear the track as it was playing.
He could, yeah.
He could.
Yeah,
so he would do the, the walking and the talking. So I'm not surprised if we were a little off on the beat.
Now, because you said walk and talk, and those were your only lines in this movie, we dubbed all those folks that did that the walkie-talkies.
There you go. Well, he said talk one time, and there he said talk. I would have gone talk. So how did you know just to do it once? He said it twice. So, anyway, I bet it was kind of stressful.
Attention, for the cues
and clapping. I mean, I try to do One World at concerts. I'm like, ugh. Anyway,
one of the things that didn't make it onto this tape, I thought we'd actually include it in the clip, but I apologize it didn't. It is probably on another clip somewhere. At the end of recording that in the studio, but before they went into the sound booth or the control room to listen to the playback, Todd made a funny comment. He says, "Let's go dig ourselves." And so when after the video didn't show up, after the first year or so, we had to go try to spring it loose from the producer promoter. We named the people that chipped in to try to help fund the editing process. We called those folks the diggers. From
the diggers.
Let's go dig ourselves. They're the diggers.
Yeah, if I put you on the spot, could you name all of them without a list?
I probably know all the names.
Yeah, you don't miss anybody on that. So, all right. Well, one of the most popular songs from that I'm going to call it an album just because that's what I do, I guess, was a song called "Take It All." So that was a pretty cool recording session.
My favorite song, and that was absolutely my personal highlight, was getting to see the various players recording that particular song. I know we had Tim, we had Bruce, Mary Ellen Manning was on that recording. Was Laura on there? Maybe
Laura was on that.
Was she as well?
Playing singing the harmony.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for the reminders. Yeah, just a quick note on that. I know. It was just yesterday. As you've seen in some of the clips, we're going to do some more of the recording sessions because this actually spilled over into day 3. So you can imagine, like David was talking, he kind of wants to go first sometimes because he wants to get it out of the way so that he can kind of kick back and enjoy the rest of the camp. But, we didn't know until the end of day 2 that actually we ran out of time and we're going to have to spill over into the 3rd day morning. So I'm totally stressing out about the fact that I have to do a song that I've never played before in an arrangement I've never played before. And I wanted to do, go ahead.
I said, at least it was a slower song.
Well, there you go. Yeah. But I took it home that night and I practiced till like 2 a.m. and I come out the next morning and I've got my case with all my accessories in it, but I also got 2 basses. And I remember the first person I saw when I got out into the hall was this Mel person that I'd never met before. And I thought to myself, oh, maybe Hey, could you help me? I've got these 2 bass cases, and I'm going to have to make 2 trips all the way to the lobby with these. If I can't get somebody to help me, so oh yeah, sure, I'll help you. So Mel picked up one of my bass cases and helped me cart it to the lobby, so we could only make 1 trip. And
I'm a roadie.
That's right. Mel Kane is my roadie.
I like it. It's an honor.
But before we start this clip, the only other thing to mention is most of the time when you're doing recording in a studio like this, and I'd done a lot of recording earlier in my career when I lived in Los Angeles. Never made any money at it, but I did a lot of it. But one of the things with bass guitar in particular is that rather than play through an amplifier, often you will what they call jack directly into the board. So you'll be in the control booth or in the control room at the mixer, and the cord literally goes right into a jack on the board. But what that means is instead of recording out of sight while Todd is listening in the control room, I'm recording with him sitting 3 feet away.
I can't imagine, although I was there.
It is. It's a whole other animal.
It's a whole other animal. Because now you got the body language and the facial expression and the whole works while you're trying to play the song. But anyway, let's roll.
Y'all ready?
Big bean footage.
Here we go.
Several of us are going to overdub some tracks here on Take It All, Badfinger song that Todd produced. And we've got vocals, bass, and acoustic guitar yet to do this afternoon. I've been waiting my entire life to do something like this, and so this was really the main event, and I was so glad I got a chance to do it. So I'm sitting like 3 feet away from Todd. I'm jacked in direct to the board. The good news is I have a lot of experience, with playing bass directly into a board instead of going through an amp, and so that was no big surprise. This has been an incredible experience, once in a lifetime. I don't know that Todd will ever do this again. If he did, I'd try to figure out a way to scrape together the money to do it.
Here we go.
Did that video just stacked up?
Yep. That's a shame. What a shame. Oh.
Wow. What's that about?
I don't know. All of a sudden the volume went kind of wah.
Can you get it back?
That's kind of weird.
Yeah, we can play it again. It's not a problem. Let me just check something real quick. I don't know why that would do that.
I'm telling you, look, did y'all see Mary Ellen? She was into it. She was in the zone.
Very focused. Very
intense. Yeah.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
told me
But
later.
that really that added a nice layer to that song. But we could hear Tim in the background too.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Tim,
ready?
did you do multiple layers on that? Did he give you track space to do a couple different things?
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Say it
sorry?
again.
Did you do a couple of different
wait a minute.
layers?
Yes, I'm sorry. I did like 2.5 passes. There was a section on the bridge where I missed it on one pass, but it was really interesting that he ended up just basically taking a section that I played first and then put it towards the end of the song. So just he cut it up in blocks and moved it around.
Thank you.
All right.
Really fun.
Let's do this again. Let's get her going.
Yeah.
I don't know what in the world happened, but here we go.
Several of us are going to overdub some tracks here on Take It All, Badfinger song that Todd produced. And we've got vocals, bass, and acoustic guitar yet to do this afternoon. I've been waiting my entire life to do something like this, and so this was really the main event. And I was so glad I got a chance to do it. So I'm sitting like 3 feet away from Todd. I'm jacked in direct to the board. The good news is I have a lot of experience, with playing bass directly into a board instead of going through an amp, and so that was no big surprise. This has been an incredible experience, once in a lifetime. I don't know that Todd will ever do this again. If he did, I'd try to figure out a way to scrape together the money to do it.
Here we go. Cool. Come dig yourself.
That's twice we've seen that scene.
Yeah, I don't know how that
was
keeps creeping in there. That's weird.
No, it's
good.
because Doug, you were crying. You couldn't see what button you were pushing.
Yeah,
I think there was more than a few of us who teared up when she was doing that. The
that was awesome.
The focus and the little fills and the bubbly way she was playing, it was striking. It was touching.
I agree, 100%. So, David, were you trying to say something? You got to unmute yourself.
Oh, yeah, sorry. No, it was just that session was one of the major highlights and one of the things I remember so vividly, especially listening to Mary Ellen play. It just added such a nice layer to the song, and just it was just terrific. I loved it.
I'm glad we included more of that clip and didn't cut it short, because that was truly amazing.
We had to play the whole thing. Absolutely. I'm glad we caught it. Okay, so Brent Bourgeois, we were talking earlier, somebody said he did I Don't Mind, and they were thrilled with that. So one time I heard Kasim say he wishes he would have written that song, that it's such a good song. And I think it's definitely one of my favorite songs as well. But as luck would have it, you guys got to work with both of them at the same time. Right, Tim?
Yes, indeed. It was an amazing opportunity to spend time with both of them and all of the other musicians. It was nice having one-on-one conversations, and I had a brief one with Brent, who was just very, very gracious when he was listening to all of us track our songs. You could tell he was just very deep into the music. And so what they offer in this next clip, he and Kasim both, they're offering a kind of a point of view from kind of having maybe been where we were. It's really a revealing set of clips here, so you might want to go ahead and play them.
I firmly believe that I was put on earth to be a musician. That's what I was supposed to do when I was born. So I'm a musician. And for these people, maybe they didn't get the opportunity that I got, or maybe they, it just becomes a different level of importance in their life. Music is important, but it's not the end all and be all. It is for me.
I mean, all the fans and the campers here have been really terrific.
They played
fun to
well
talk
too,
and they all played really well. And there's a lot of them, a lot more than the last two camps. So just more people to mother hand around a little bit, And I think Todd has been really great with all of them too.
Yeah.
Really good.
I don't think that there's been one person that hasn't come up to me and said, thank you so much. This is like a dream come true. I can't even tell you how happy I am, how happy this has made me, how glad I am that I came and did this.
People that are fans of Todd are going to be music files, and they're going to be, I wasn't surprised when there were really good players. That wasn't surprising to me. The caliber, and so it's been fun because it's sort of a higher level of fandom. These are all people that have followed him around. He's seen a lot of these people for years at his shows and stuff. So, and he'll see them again. So it's been fun. It's been fun also spending time with the band guys and guys like Kasim, who you run into a lot, but you never get to spend this kind of time with. So it's been good.
Good experience for those guys. Good experience for the campers. Good
there you go.
For Cruiser Mail. All good.
Yeah. Yeah, that
All
that
right.
was nice. They were very complimentary of the campers, but they, you know what? They were not stretching the truth at all. Very talented crew.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've seen Prairie with long hair like that too. It's
Oh, that's right.
kind of different, to say the least.
10 years. 10 years.
Yeah.
So a lot of
10
fashion.
years since he's had that. I think that's probably true. But it's cool that, Brent's spot on, and that's why, and when Prairie said there were more people at this camp than others, and Brent knows and Prairie knows, it's because Todd's got a great following of people that are going to do whatever. And the people that are on the front row of shows or go to shows or try to see him after the shows, it's a different kind of thing and feel. And that's why that camp worked out the way it did with a good crowd, I think. But our next video, this one, I think is going to be very educational for people, because if you're like me, you have no idea. I do now, but I didn't have any idea what the penny whistle was. And it kind of came out of nowhere and ended up on this album. And you're going to find out why, and you're going to appreciate why, because this is really quite amazing. You are going to have a new found respect for this instrument and for the player and why it's on the CD.
Quick note, just for the folks that watched part one and to catch up, is that the recording sessions, this will be the last one we're going to do of the recording sessions, but Todd pretty much took them in order of how he had named them at the beginning of the show. So
All right.
Penny Whistle is kind of last one in, because that was the order they were done in.
This is Don Slovin, by the way. Most of y'all know who that is, or watching this show from New York. Here we go.
Yay! Penny freaking whistle!
And
What
that
is
dance
going on?
again.
Hey, whatever it is, it's cool. We can see it. So I love to watch Todd watch this thing. I think he was like, damn, I don't know. I think he's like, I can't believe this. He was blown away just like everybody else that probably just watched that. You're like, what? It's really cool. So good stuff.
That was on the "Love My Way" song,
My Way.
just in case you were wondering.
Psychedelic Furs. Yeah. Awesome. 80s band, 80s rule. Okay. So appreciate that clip. Awesome. We're going to have something more similar to the end of that clip, concert looking stuff, I believe. So there was a concert on the third night, which, Joan, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, the concert on the third night.
Yeah.
Something in the very crowded restaurant with Mickey Hart and
Mickey Thomas.
Mickey Thomas.
Bobby Hart.
And like just barely any room to walk. Is that the one? Which night is this?
Bowling, right?
Strikes Bowling.
Oh, the Strikes Bowling one. Yeah, that's the one that all of this photography is from.
Mm-hmm.
And
and back
I brought my
you.
camera and
nice.
up a couple hundred shots, and it was so much fun. And yeah, I mean, if we've got footage of that, I would love to see some of that, because that was an incredible night. You could tell that. Look at the shots of Todd laughing, and he was just having so much fun with David Johansen on stage there. You could just tell he kept looking over at him like as if it was fun to see someone else, in charge of the night for a few minutes, and I could just tell Todd was having the most fun, and I got a lot of great shots of everybody. This is just the tiniest, series of shots.
Yeah,
but
we'll show us off sometime for sure.
yeah, no, it was a brilliant night. And
Okay, so Mickey Thomas is the star of this video. Am I right, Bruce?
Yep, she comes up first. Yep.
You ready to see a little Mickey, Joan?
oh yeah.
Hi, sweetie. All right. What are you gonna do? Let's make history. Well, not being mean.
Charles, have a good one, buddy. I love you.
Before we get started, I want to thank all of the campers, especially. I know you're not all campers, but One, two,
But I don't know, I don't mind at all. It's getting so you never know when things are better left alone. Hey, but I don't know, I don't mind at all. It's important to me that I don't see you laughing at me, but I'm smart enough to know that I have to let you go. But I don't mind at all.
This is the song that got the ball rolling for me with Jefferson Starship back in 1979. This is called Jane.
There's that little clip, finally.
We got horns that time. Woo!
Rock on.
Yeah, the owner of the Trap Shack Studio has a horn section that he works out with a local band there in Sacramento. So I'm sure they were just blown away to be able to play with these guys.
That was a heck of a show.
Hey, Doug, did you see that guy's shirt? Skip's Music?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. That was the sound company we used for our show at the Crest. So
Yeah.
yeah.
The Crest.
Wow, that was very exciting. What do you think, David, about that particular set or whatever you want to call it?
You know, every time I say something, I say, "Well, it was a highlight. It was a highlight." Well, but that really was. I mean, it was an incredible. Mickey Thomas, as you could tell, killed it that night. He played he sang some old R&B songs, and it was just phenomenal. The guy's still in great voice. The whole evening, it was just sort of like from my dreams, you know, and it was fabulous. Great way to cap off the 3 days for sure.
Now, a lot of this third night was concert, kind of like, and you had Mickey Thomas and David Johansen, but they also tried to work in some campers and still, you know, even at the end of the week, get some folks upstage. So I know you were part of that.
Yeah, I was. I don't for the clipper about this tea. I don't want to give too much away, but I don't really know how the other camper drummers ended up being on stage. But the morning of the third day, I'm riding down the elevator to breakfast, and the elevator stops. The doors open, and David Johansen and his companion walk in. And he recognizes me. He goes, "Hey," in that New York foghorn of a voice. "Hey, how you doing?" And so he said to me, "Well, you know, I really liked your drumming yesterday." I said, "Thank you. It was very kind of him." And he says, "Do you play timbales?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I play timbales." He goes, "Great. I'll call you up on stage tonight." I'm like, "Okay, great. Terrific." And I just basically thought that was a really nice thing for him to say. You know, he went one way, I went off to breakfast, and that was pretty much the last I thought of it. Until he's on stage, he just did his Animals medley, and he calls out for me. And at this point, I was not in front anymore. I was kind of about halfway back in the middle because the sound got really good for me, right sort of middle of the hall. And so I'm like, okay, I guess I'm being called on stage. And I'm saying, excuse me, one way, pardon me, excuse me. And one guy turns around and goes, "Are you David?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I am." That whole little section of people just kind of yelled and like, "Hooray, yay!" And the crowd parted. It was like the Red Sea.
The Red Sea.
It was the biggest rock star moment of my life. It was phenomenal. And I got up on stage and I'm thinking, does Personality Crisis have timbales in? You know? And so I don't want to give too much away, but it was that was a totally unexpected thing, and he was great about it.
So you didn't know what song was going?
No, I didn't until he did the introduction, and then like the light bulb went off over my head. And but yeah, until then I had no clue what I was going to be doing.
All right, I'm ready to see little David Johansen. Actually, it's been a while, but before we do that, let's see if he doesn't.
Oh yeah, you want to talk about?
We got. Let's get Kevin in here for a second.
Oh,
Stoker.
Kevin, you're on.
Kevin's still up.
Let's hear a little personality crisis right quick before we play this video. Can you say it for us? Maybe not.
What's that?
Oh, where'd he go?
Let's hear a little personality crisis. Do you have a request? Would you like to hear personality crisis?
I'm gonna do it.
You sing it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Gonna be a personality crisis. You got wild.
Great job. All the way overseas.
Mr. Thomas, everybody. What a showman. Let's hear it for him. Hey, is David the drumming camper here? Where's David? David's got a rare disease
and he's going to die in about two days, so we're going to let him play. And Don here is mentally challenged, so we're letting him play. It's the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Oh, this is going to be great. Oh. I'm going to sing a song that I haven't sang since the Reagan administration. So I got some notes here just in case I lose my place. Oh my God, what a beautiful crowd. Let's hear it for you guys. Will you help me do this song? This is a song that my cousin Buster made in the 80s. It goes something like this. Ole, ole, ole,
Yeah.
That was beast mode, baby.
Amazing stuff.
Get a pineapple put on my head.
Very memorable.
Oh, that's a staple on all of my cruise ships, I'll tell you. Still, I think.
Full hat.
Yeah. So, Tim, you said you had something you definitely wanted.
Yeah,
to
I because the cover art, I'm not sure. I wanted this is the copy that Todd autographed for me.
Can't see it yet.
There we go. All right. There we go.
There you go.
All right.
There
And,
you
go. The main thing is, it's a community of people. We talk about how Todd's fans are a community. And, to me, that was kind of like my first foray into the whole, internet version of the Todd family. And that's my point, is that, this was made by a group of people who, we've maintained really wonderful friendships. And frankly, you all feel like family to me. So I just wanted to make sure that you all got to see this.
Awesome. Hey, so Bruce, do we need to play that so we get to see the Todd part? Is it a lot?
No, I think that was it. But yeah, it was okay. It's a good closing point.
All right, awesome.
Yeah. Well, it's not a closing point because
right.
that night that was at the bowling alley, which is just the strangest place I can think of to have a concert, but it worked. It was a huge complex, by the way. And we had been treated like, seriously, like I think rock stars are treated. I'm not even sure that they're treated as nicely as we were that whole time. But I know we've got yet another clip before we all went back to the hotel, and I guess sadly some of us had to pack our bags and get up early the next morning. I know, Doug, I can see you crying. I know, that's how it was. We were all so high that night, and I'm not talking about anything illegal. It was just
energy.
Elated.
Yes.
Elated.
Yeah. So let's watch that, and then we'll come on back.
That's good stuff.
Forgot about the disco bus. I forgot about that.
Disco bus.
Disco bus.
All right. Well, sadly, that is our last video
for the night.
Y'all want to go around the horn and just, if you got some special memory, let's start with you, Joan.
Oh my God. Special memories.
Memories.
It was just wonderful. But Michelle running over after your, very marginal, audition and saying, "Oh, you did great! You did great!" Just going, "Oh, I needed to sing a cappella. I can't sing with all that noise." So it was mostly just seeing, like what Daniel was saying. This was like the first time I seen like a lot of different people from our community that hadn't been at things before, and just to see how homogenous our good nature is, and the devotion to the music, and just that I did coin a word many years earlier when playing volleyball with Danny and Rachel and Todd, Michelle, and everything. There is this thing called, I call it proximitod, that everybody gets to have this proximitod moment. You don't have to talk to them. You don't have to, if you can just kind of pony up close enough to hear the jokes, you just feel like $1 million. And it's just, it was a real Proximatod week, and I know everybody was just flying on it. It was a joy.
So Bruce, what we didn't see Michelle in a lot of these videos. What's the deal with that?
She was in and out, so she wasn't there, my recollection exactly the whole time. But I do recall she was there for quite a few of the auditions. As a matter of fact, we didn't play a lot of the footage here, but at the end of each audition, typically Michelle would chime in with a few comments, to kind of have Todd put into his notes. And so she was, like Joan said, very encouraging in terms of, what she liked about each audition, to kind of, pat everybody on the back and make them have a good experience. Because, people are just totally frayed nerves after they've been in there to do their audition. But I do remember, she'd hang around behind the scenes a little bit. I was trying to, bone up a bit on primetime with the curveball arrangement that they'd thrown at us. And so I was off in Chuck Hansen's office. They let me go back there to listen to the iPad that Prairie lent me so I could, play along with it. But as I'm coming out, here's Michelle, and Michelle. So she hadn't put on her lipstick for the day. So she's over in one of the other rooms, and here's Chuck's saxophone sitting there, and it's so shiny that she actually used it as a mirror. So she's over there putting her lipstick.
I mean, you think about a reality TV show. Who is running this thing if they're not putting Michelle on it? I mean, she would be perfect for that. As a matter of fact, she wanted to have one. She wanted to have one with Todd for a while. There was talk of that. I think at Tiki Niki or somewhere. But
that's right.
Anyway, I bet there's video footage ever you got, whatever it was.
We'd have to go dig them out
or whatever.
Yeah,
yeah. I would. Unless Dave and Tim have something to add. Do y'all want to add something before?
I think I said my piece previously. So
there you go.
I'd like to say a quick thing, and that is that this was my first time I'd ever been in a room or in an area with nothing but Todd fans. Occasionally I'd meet someone at a party like, "Oh, you like him? Yeah, I like him. You like him?" But this was like we were all there for the same purpose, and it was a really, really special occasion for me, and it was just a really meaningful 3 days. And I don't know what would have happened if I decided not to go, but I did go, and I had a wonderful, wonderful, memorable time. So that's all I needed to say. Thanks, you guys.
That's a lot. That's great. It's part of the deal with some of these big parties that we go to or that we have. We hear people a lot say, "I didn't know there were so many people that were like this, and so many like-minded, or so many Todd fans." Especially the first time we did Wizard of True Star, the first party. If I had $1 for everybody that came up and said it, oh my God, never been around this many Todd fans. I can't believe it. It's a great experience. But I wanted to close out talking to you, Bruce, about these were the clips that y'all decided were great, and but it sounds like there may be some more possibilities. People really are enjoying this. Maybe we could come up with something else. Go in a different direction, different angle, but have some more My Record Fantasy Camp stuff. Do you think you have some material to do that? I don't.
There's absolutely tons of footage here, and what we tried to do with parts 1 and 2 was to just try to give in longitudinal, time order. You kind of the 3 days, as they went along. And we skipped back and forth a little bit, but not too much. But we tried to tell the story of the camp as best we could. Even that, we had to throw away a lot of footage just to get it down for these 2 shows. So, with all the stuff we have out there with full-length concerts, it ran an hour and a half. I think last night, maybe even 2 hours. Plus all the other behind-the-scenes stuff that didn't really fall into the bucket called the story of. Certainly we can pull out some other clips.
I think people too would love to see some more jam sessions. So we appreciate everybody being on tonight. Appreciate y'all, Joan, Tim, and David, and Bruce, and of course our special guests Kevin and Daniel. Another great show. Good evening, and happy anniversary, 10-year on My Record Fantasy Camp.
Happy
Sharing it with us.
Great to see y'all.
Thank you, Doug and Mel, and thank